Round 5 of Season 3 in my McLaren Return to Glory arrives and officially kicks off the European part of the calendar. Now this is Imola. If you haven't seen the last race at Miami, go check it out. Link in the top right. Spoilers ahead in 3, 2, 1. So, we are now arriving at this race hoping to really get our season underway. So far, there's been a common theme in the first 4 races. The number 6, P6, that is where we finished every single race this season. So hopefully this is the race where we break the streak. So let's jump into it. First things first is a department event for the aerodynamics, which I didn't get any acclaim or R&D points for, or any loss or hindrance. It was basically just agreeing with the head of the department in terms of where to take upgrades in the future. We get confirmation of the repurchased failed upgrade for the brake ducts, which is an ultimate upgrade for the rear downforce, I believe. Or no, yes it is, I think it's for the rear downforce if I'm not mistaken. It might be drag reduction, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, we go ahead and repurchase the diffuser side fences, which is for the rear downforce and is ultimate. So pretty much, hopefully we can get down the car for the next race, which I believe is Monaco. I was hoping to have both those upgrades on the car for this race, but they both failed and they're very expensive, so even repurchasing them takes a bit of time. So here is the performance chart this weekend. The upgrade moves us from 5th to 3rd, which is a big jump, and hopefully with the other upgrade on the way from Monaco, that should also move us right up there with Red Bull and Mercedes, right in time for Monaco, which is of course a very strong track for us. So if we can get a good result today and really get some momentum on our side, that would really help us going into the midway stage of the season, because it's only a 16 round season and I want to win the Constructors, which is the target. So we're going to have to really start to pick up those results now and get things moving. So as you can see, practice in the background, pretty smooth session tyre wear, slightly on the higher side, which is a bit of a concern. Other than that, fuel is about average, so we'll make some adjustments for the race and see how it goes. Practice, like I said, went smooth. We've got a decent amount of points, over 2.8k now pretty much, so we should be able to afford another upgrade hopefully at the start of the next episode. Fingers crossed, another ultimate one, which could be the rear wing main plane, which does have a pretty big discount on it already. So we're going to keep pushing forward on the aero side and keep, improving and finding more developments on that aspect, because that is the part of the car which is the weakest, and we can definitely improve to really help us take a step forward in performance. So here we go then. Time for qualifying and time to get serious, put the upgrade to the test and see what we're looking at pace-wise. So here we are, currently heading through the Ravazzas in Imola, looking to close out our first time lap here in qualifying as we open the DRS now up to the line, and our first lap is a 12.3, which is a bit of an eyebrow raiser, a long way off the pace and a bit of a concern. So I actually checked the battery, tyres, and had enough for another lap. I'm actually going to go back to back, so consecutive laps, which isn't something I always do, but tyre temps were actually okay and we had decent balance of the car. And you can see on a second attempt we're up by nearly a couple of tenths, just about. Making our way into the 2 Ravazzas, the final 2 corners here. I actually take it in 4th rather than 3rd this time, and also nail the line through the final corner, and we find 3 tenths in the final 2 corners alone, which does help us get into the 11s, purple, sector 3 and P12, and that is a bit more like it. The position isn't great, but the lap time is better and the margin is greater. So as you can see, now it's looking a bit healthier. We're currently safe by 0.3 of a second, so I reckon we're going to be okay. And you can see, I can tell you actually Lando finished P1 in this session, so the upgrades are working for him, but we're a bit off the pace. And it's a common theme. You guys know the drill by now with the upgrades, the maxed out cars. The AI are just very strong over one lap, so we have to deal with it. But then the race, we usually are able to fight back. But I will admit, I do feel a bit off the pace this weekend compared to the first 4 races. So I've made some adjustments for Q2 to try and find a little bit of lap time. But we run wide through turn 9, and invalidate our first lap. So I actually backed off, and we're going to go again on that same run. I had just enough fuel, so we're going to try and go for a second push, and we're going to see if we can improve. Now, we've done 11.9 in Q1, so that's going to be our banker reference for this one, but we horrifically mess up the first chicane. We got too much inside curb through 1, bottomed out, bumped over the curbs, and we're down by 4 tenths already, and we hit the curb on the inside again through Villeneuve. So it really wasn't a good lap at all across the line, and we actually match our Q1 time with that horrific mistake. So it gives me some room for optimism. We're currently about 4 tenths off P10, but that is give or take what we lost in the first sector. So I actually think we may have a chance of getting to Q3 here if we just clean the lap up and improve a little bit, because the AI are going to find time, they're going to improve as well. So we're going to have to try and deliver. So here we go, 20 seconds on the clock. We're going to go for it. One last attempt, and we're going to see if we can find some laps. I've actually lowered the wing a bit and also moved the brake bias to the rear, so we're going to see if that works. Tamburello chicane, 4th gear up to 5th, over the left and right, and then the left on the exit, and we actually pretty much get that advantage locked in as we now head into Villeneuve. Keep it clean yet again, and you can see we're up, but we have a bit of oversteer, and we invalidate, which is going to be the end of our qualifying, and that is really unfortunate, as we was half a second up into the toe set hairpin, and that is going to be it. Game over. P14 invalidation at the wrong time, and you never know what happens in F1, but if you do some rough maths, you know, some calculations, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, give or take, I reckon I could have got into Q3. Especially P9, I think that would have been the target. The top 8 are a bit out of pace right now. I don't really have what it takes to match those guys, but P9 was possible quite easily with the improvements we made, and we didn't quite deliver. So we've bottled it, P14, and yet another Q2 knockout. So yeah, we're going to be up against the guys yet again in the race. We'll see if there's any grid drops, but either way, work to be done. And I'm kind of hoping Lando can deliver and get the points for us this weekend. So guys, qualifying done. Let's get into the race and let's see if one more time we can turn it around.
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. The clue's in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula One tracks as it's taken anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit, and its only DRS zone. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Drugovich, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Martinez, Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Magnussen, Sargent, Hulkenberg and Zhou Guanyu. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Right, here we go then. Time for the race at Imola, P13, and looking to hopefully fight back in this race. We've got work to do, definitely a bit of a mountain to climb, but I think we might be able to do it. I think the key thing here is it's going to be a long race. We might struggle in the first phase, but hopefully things will pick up and improve as we go along. I think we'll be quite strong at the end, and I think the hard tyre could be a surprise, decent package here. So for this one, we're going to start the medium, then go for the hard tyre. We're going to avoid the soft in this race. I want to see if we can make this work. I feel like it's the better option, less tyre temp issues, and just able to push flat out the whole time. Fuel-wise, I'm going for just about on target. So after practice, it was 45.45, I think it was. So we're literally running that in the race. So we should be just about fine on fuel. But yeah, pretty much the target, just like in previous races this season, is to try and get a good start, especially at Miami. Get a good start, get into the top 10, and then hopefully see if we can make our pace work and make things work. So yeah, guys, we're going to get into it. Leave a like on the video, subscribe for more. Prediction down below in the comments. Do you think we can finish and break our top 6 streak? That is the key thing here. P6, all 4 races so far this season. Can we finish one step above that? Let's find out. Here we go. Let's get the revs up to 9k. Lights out and away we go. Good start. Schumacher with a flyer. Having to turn off the battery there as we also get a pass on Gasly. We're going to try and find some space, but it's all very congested into turn 1 here. Around the outside of Gasly there through the chicane, the second part of Tamburello into Villeneuve. Schumacher with a brilliant start on the soft tyres, by the way, up into P9. We're going to try and have a little stab around the outside of Alonso here at Tosa. Got myself alongside, but we're going to lose out in the acceleration battle like always. So Alonso falls back in front. Runs a bit wide through 9, but we're not going to get the run. Decent start though, we gained a couple of places. We'll see if we can maybe still grab a few more positions in this lap. This chicane is going to be key. Going to try and take a bit of a wide entry to get a better exit. Power down. Using the battery, we know we've got decent VMAX. Had a little look, but wasn't quite close enough. I could have probably lunged on the brakes if I was a touch closer. But still, first lap in the bag, P11, 2 places gained. So not a bad start. Look at this, we're actually holding up pretty nicely at top speed. So it's just the acceleration phase. If we can get through that, we're going to be alright. Oh, car off. Chaos, it's Dragovic. Yellow flag. Now green. We've timed that pretty well. Alonso holds on. I'm going to try and get a bit of a cut back here, but don't quite get the exit. Alonso holds on. I was about to say, literally before Dragovic done that, don't be surprised if there's some chaos. The AI are always very dirty here, especially the first chicane. So, yeah, that is something that we're going to keep an eye out for. The AI.
Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Yep, also engine wear, but either the AI make mistakes on their own or will combat. So we'll keep an eye out for that. What a chaotic first couple of laps here though, action everywhere. 4 starts, and look at this, we've got the run on Alonso here, so we're probably going to get a chance to have a little look up the inside. Into Ravazza. Through we go. So that's now P10 and into the points. Schumacher next up on that soft tire. DRS train is broken.
Okay, DRS will be enabled for this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Gasly through on Alonso. Let's see if we can make some progress here. I think we've already got some decent pace. Car feels good. Yeah, we're so strong through there. That is going to be the strong point as always. Actually feels stronger than past seasons through the chicane. The car just floats over it beautifully. Up the inside of Mick, and we're going to get the DRS on the pit straight, I believe. Although that is a poor line. We get under gravel. Just hit that inside curve a bit too much there. Going to have to get the battery on. Alonso approaching, so it's going to be momentum for him, but we're going to have to try and get ahead of Schumacher here using all the battery. Going to take an early apex to avoid getting lunged. But there we go, P9. Recovering from a bit of a scruffy pass on Mick. Let's see if we can try and wrestle our way back into Dragovic's DRS. That's not going to be easy, but we'll give it a shot. Sainz also losing contact with the cars ahead of him. Perez 13-1. We'll go 14-0, so that's kind of our pace right now. Purple sector 3, Alonso does have DRS, but we managed to pull away anyways. Track limit warning. First one just running a bit too wide there. I'm trying to also save some batteries, so I'm only using on the pit straight, on the exit out the final corner. We've now dropped Alonso. Dragovic, Sainz swap around, or about to anyway. Hopefully there's a bit of time we can get into their DRS, that would be ideal. Bit of a moment there as we slide through. Pace is okay, even without battery use. I'm struggling on the rears a bit. Not sure because I'm running the wrong pressures, but I'm sliding quite a bit. Trying not to overheat, but back end just isn't planted right now. Had this in a league race once at Spain. We kind of drove through it, and it got better towards the end. So a bit of an adjustment. I've moved my bias up to 56, and I've also knocked the diff down at 50. We'll see if that gives us a bit more pace. I've tried to push a bit on that last lap to get a bit of a gap to Gasly and Alonso. Also close in on Sainz, but we're very similar pace to be fair. Dragovic is cooking, he's very quick and is catching Piastri. There's a few battles, to be fair, on track. You've got both Mercs battling, both Red Bulls battling, Lando in his own in P3, and then the Aston Martins are on course for also a bit of a scrap. So teammate battles seem to be the thing today. My pace is starting to drop. I'm just not fast enough in this one. Doesn't matter what car adjustments I make, we're just lacking a bit of pace. I'm not fully able to send the car or commit. I feel like the car's a bit unsettled, which isn't helping. We're losing half a second a lap to Lando every lap. But yeah, even the chicane, which is the only strong point I had, is not that great anymore. As you can see there, I wasn't really that quick. Okay, Verstappen pits. So, not sure who else is on softs. That's the first sign.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
Yeah, I think we're going to pit for the hard. I think I'm going to commit to that strategy anyways. I'll go for one more. I've looked at the tyre wear, it's not that bad. I'm just wondering if maybe a soft could get us back in the race, because I just don't think I've got an answer right now on the harder compounds. I feel like I've got to try something different. So as expected, Lando in the pit lane. Everyone's going to go for the hard tyre. I feel like I want to give it a go, man, and try something different. I think my tyre pressures are too low, which is why I'm struggling, because my tyres are not overheating, but I'm losing the rear, so I think I'm struggling. So maybe a soft tyre might be a better option. So the remaining cars are going to pit. I think Russell may even rejoin ahead of us. It's going to be close. But the Merc is looking pretty strong. Russell back on top form. Hopefully he keeps battling with Leclerc. But we're going to take the lead for a lap or so. We'll probably stay out until we get caught and then put the soft tyre on. Well then, Leclerc will hopefully get a clean pass here. No need to defend. Tyre indicator now on my screen, so we'll probably pit this lap if not the next one. Wow, Russell's got such a run on me already. Gonna have to let him go. We'll stay out because we'll get DRS in the pit straight so we can make up for that lost time. So we won't pit, we'll go one more. Pit end of lap 20. Hopefully the soft can work. We are very reliant on the soft tyre being able to cook for us and help us out a little bit. Second warning as well, they're just running a bit wide. Soft tyre selected, so let's go for it.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Oh, that was a horrible slide. Really not good through there. Rear locking. Alright, we're going to box then and get off these tyres. Hopefully the soft works. I'm not overheating the tyres at all. I think my tyre temps are maybe too low, so into the pits we go. Alright, nicely done there. Nice and safe on the limiter, no dramas. Right, soft tyres. Let's get to work. Hopefully we can make them work also last. We're going to rejoin behind Alonso here. Question is, can we get out ahead of Gasly, who has fallen back a little bit to Fernando? I don't think we are. I think we're going to be behind Schumacher actually. So there's going to be work to do. Best we can hope for this race is P9, barring any miracles. So let's get to it. Let's get to work and let's see if we can make this tyre cook.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Rejoining just in front of Ocon, and oh my god, the grip is fantastic. Right, let's get to it. Let's push this tyre. This is going to ruin my fastest lap attempt. Unless we can get past. Slight bit of contact there, but still not ideal time wise. 1:12.7 we have to beat. We're not fast enough, but we may try again now with DRS. That might help us out. Got to find 2/10. Let's try and go again now with DRS. Okay, should be able to get it now this time. And we're going to pass Pierre Gasly in the process. A little bit of DRS to help us over the line. We'll use the battery up here. 1:12.4. This is not going to be nice. Gasly's probably going to try and brake late. Around the outside though. Just got so much more grip. Right, in the points, and we'll get an extra point. Let's get Alonso, and that's the best we can probably hope for this race. Right then, DRS on Fernando, taking a bit longer than I'd like, but I've been trying to not use battery. To try and recharge. And get some battery back on target, so we're not going to pass him on this one, but we'll hopefully get him next time around. And fingers crossed I've got enough battery then to push and drop him. Tyres will hold up pretty well to be fair, so that's a good point. Right, here we go. I was going to wait for the straight, but I'm actually going to try and get him now so that we can still get DRS and open up a gap. On the inside, that's the move we love to make this race. Keeping it clean, unlike with Schumacher. And there we go, Sargent out the race as well. Could that cause a late safety car? Probably not. We've not had any safety cars this season, or VSCs or red flags. And it's going to continue that way for now, as we've already dropped Alonso out of range, which is good. Now then, I'm hoping for a miracle here, but the Aston Martins are within battling range, along with Sainz, so it's a 3-car battle for P6. If they battle heavy enough, maybe we could come back into this fight, but we're going to need a lot of time wasting. I gained 2 seconds on the lap that I passed Alonso, and they were battling, but since then the gap has stayed pretty much the same. They haven't been battling. So Charles Leclerc back on form, picks up a win after a poor race in Miami. Russell follows him home in second, and we're going to come through here for P9. So the P6 streak is going to break, but not in the way that we hoped for. We do get an extra point for a fastest lap of the race, which is something, but it's not just me. Lando also went backwards in that race, finishing, I think, P4, P5, and oh my god, we actually just got a penalty. Hopefully we clear Alonso. It's going to be close, but I think we've just got enough.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Well, Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Right then, there we go. Race done in Imola, and yeah, not ideal. We're in a bit of trouble right now. We are struggling this season, guys. This hasn't been the season I hoped for, and it's only 16 rounds, so every single one is important. So we have to find something soon, man. We need to win a race to really get ourselves back in contention. And yeah, it's got to happen soon. Monaco is where my head's at straight away. That could be the springboard we need to really get our season, you know, off to a decent start. So yeah, Leclerc wins, Russell second, Mercedes continue their dominance, and it's going to be tough to stop them, man. It's going to be tough. Checo third, Lando P4, Verstappen P5, Carlos P6, Djokovic ahead of Piastri. Great race from Felipe again. We finished P9 with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Alonso scores the final point. No points for Alpine, and as we look at the standings, 5 rounds in, 51 points adrift. It's not impossible. If we win a race, we're back in the mix. But I want to win the Constructors, and we're already 63 behind, so it's not terrible. Mercedes Red Bull locked in a battle. Hopefully they keep taking points off each other, but we need to deliver some big points. We need upgrades to not fail, especially on reduced R&D points, and that double failure we had recently was a bit of a kick in the teeth. So we'll go again and try to improve and hopefully get faster. But guys, that is it for today's episode. Like, subscribe. We go again in, I believe, Monaco is the next one, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a decent result. Hopefully Lando can follow as well. Guys, cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on your screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.